Hey y'all, hey. I'm Jay.
I'm C.
And welcome to the
JNC
JNC's room. Welcome everyone to the JNC room. We're back at it again. I am Jay.
I am C.
And here we are to talk to you about topics that we feel need to be talked about.
You heard?
So today's topics are great. They're juicy. And C is going to tell you what we're going to talk about first. See, what we're going to talk about first.
So the first topic today is men and women and our difficulties with expressing and receiving love and affection.
Okay now.
So, you want me to start this off?
Yeah, start it off.
So, to me, one of the biggest reasons why we have these difficulties of expressing love and affection and all that drama is baggage.
Okay.
So,
interesting.
why I said baggage is because, we all been hurt in one regard or another.
Okay.
So some people don't know how to let go. Some people just like to hold on to shit.
I believe, but is it always that they don't know how to let go? Some people don't even realize that they're holding on to something. So is it, it's still baggage. I agree with that. But the part of where, like some people don't know how to let go. How will they know how to let go if they don't even know that they're holding on to something?
Well, okay. You see, this is one of the first things that you got baggage, and you have to confirm this with yourself. The minute you talking to the same person that you're dealing with, and you be like, in my last relationship, this blah 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 blah. Ding 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 ding. Baggage.
Okay.
And it's not claimed.
It's not claimed?
No. Pick that bitch up.
Huh.
Get it.
So,
How do you feel?
I feel conflicted about this. Because, of course, I have baggage.
Baggage claim.
First of all, enough. All right? Enough.
Pick up the pieces.
One of the things that the reason why it's conflicting is because I feel your baggage also protects you. It's not, and I know, you look at me like this, it does, because of the fact that sometimes you dealt with something in a last relationship that, wasn't that great, or, you was disrespected, or something that kind of led to you losing some of you, or just you being in a bad situation. So, it's more of like you have this baggage, but it's helping you to, in a way, kind of move in another relationship so that you don't fall into the same thing as before. You get what I mean? Whereas this, now I understand the baggage where it's just like, you don't let it go. Nah, because I'm talking about holding on to the baggage. I am. Now, I'm not saying all baggage you should hold. I'm not saying that you need to go through baggage claim with all of your luggage, your whole, 10-piece, 20-piece.
Looking like Welcome to America. You know what I'm saying?
Bag lady. I'm not talking about all of that, but I'm just...
It's either paper or plastic.
Like some
this
baggage.
One's Louis Vuitton.
Some baggage help prevent you from getting into some ridiculous bull crap.
So, we're talking about difficulties of expressing love and affection and baggage affecting that.
Okay.
So, first and foremost, what happened in your last relationship does not mean it's going to happen in this relationship.
Very true.
What happened before does not mean it's going to happen again. And the number one thing you have to remember is that whatever happened before, you have to accept it, forgive, because people sometimes don't know how valuable you truly are.
Basically.
Until you left the door.
Very true.
Until you walk through that door.
Very true.
And you ain't calling no more.
So,
I'm saying, for me, if you're dealing with love and you're trying to express that love, some men have been hurt to the point where they don't even like to say I love you.
Very true.
And some women have been affected to where it shouldn't be, all that pulling, grinding, just to say, baby, I miss you. Like, just because you dealt with that in the past, being cold and, You know what I'm saying? Because, it happens.
Yeah.
Somebody hurts you, now you just like, I'm going to act like until he proves to me he's worth this love. But in reality, he didn't do nothing to not do anything. You should go into it normal. You should go into it even killed.
Proven guilty.
Exactly. And honestly, that's a bad way of
it is. It is, but
that's no.
You just said, go into it. If he didn't give you a reason,
even killed.
Okay.
Even killed. That means you go into it like you walk to the store. You don't know what the hell's gonna happen when you get to the store. Mm-hmm. But you went to honey turkey on the road.
Basically. Okay. Me personally, I feel like people have a hard time receiving and giving love because of, not like their past relationships, but just how they was raised. Some people were raised off of survival and some people were raised off of love. You get what I mean? Where it's not normal for them to show affection. Like my family, and this is not just relationships, like my family, we're very loving. Very loving. And, of course, there's the parts that are crazy to it, but like my immediate family, we're very loving. Even, I have my cousins and my aunts and that side of the family, we're very loving. Where sometimes people come, like sometimes people will bring their their boyfriend or their girlfriend, and they're kind of taken back by how like loving and touching, like we're loving and we're always bigging each other, like, oh, you're gorgeous, oh, you're a dime, or oh my God, and we'll,
we lying to each other.
No, we hate it because we're all like beautiful. So, but some people come in and we see the beauty. We do see the beauty in everybody. We do see like the greatness in everybody. So like they'll come and we're just like, oh my God, and we're so loving. Some people are just taken back by it. Whereas like some people, when someone gives them any type of affection or love too soon, they kind of get guarded because it's like, how are you about to take advantage of me? You get what I mean? So
I get you.
So it's just like that's why
it's the same thing I was telling you about know your value.
Basically.
Know how valuable your love and your affection truly is. Mm-hmm. And it shouldn't be not treasured. Your love and your affection should be treasured. It should not be an appetizer, baby. It's the main course. You did.
But even that is also, that's not easy.
So to piggyback off what you just said, and I didn't even write this as a point, but mommy and daddy issues.
Yeah.
And that plays a big role in love and affection.
Yeah.
Like me, I got mommy issues.
I got daddy issues.
You know what I'm trying to say? But the thing about identifying these things, the moment you identify your issue is when you can make a resolution.
But it's also, that even in that, it takes time.
Everything takes time.
That takes time. Like, and speaking of like mommy and daddy issues, she had said something to me the other day, and it resonated differently than like how anybody else has said it. Like, even the part of like knowing that your love and your affection is it's not an appetizer, it's a main course. But not even realizing that you go into a situation and you're giving everything as an appetizer as opposed to the main course, and that having a lot to do with how you was raised and how you, not even how you was raised, but just the stuff that you dealt with. You get what I mean? And I realized I realized it a long time ago that I was always going into relationships like, oh, I'm gonna prove that I'm worth it, as opposed to just realizing like I'm worth it. But you're not realizing you're doing that. Like, I'm out here. He had said something like, your love deserves a title. Like, don't love anyone. I'm not gonna say verbatim, but it was just like, oh, don't love anybody without a title. And I was like, you can't control love. You can't control When in reality, he was just saying like, you as a person, this is kind of how you are when you love someone. So you can't really go into it. Like, for example, like it's an appetizer as opposed to a main course. And not realizing it has to do with the fact. And so I'm out here. So I'm like, so it has to do with the fact of me going into a situation of proving my worth. And even though I realized that this was something I was doing, you still kind of fall back into your habits. So even, you know, this whole thing of like, you know, men and women having a hard time receiving and you know, giving affection and love, it's just habits that they still have to kind of overcome.
You see, like that's the issue with to piggyback off what you said, right? I'm gonna tell the audience what I said. What I said was me knowing your personality and knowing the person you are, knowing how you care and how you love. Your love demands a title. Why? Because you put too much energy into it to not be a title.
Yeah.
And you prioritize your partner. So why wouldn't it be a title?
Basically.
And she deserves that. That's what I meant when I said that. So for me, I care a lot about a woman. When I get involved with a woman, I care about them in the sense of I want them to be okay. I want to know if they're mentally good. And because of that, when I get to that point, I know I can't be a fling thing anymore. And you know what I'm trying to say? And this is me being honest with myself. I had to realize this because, you know, what's been done before has happened again. And you know what I'm saying? So like I had to realize this about myself. And by realizing this about yourself, you come to the conclusion that you got to make the right decision for you.
Yeah.
So what's your next point?
My next point is more people being addicted to toxic situations. So sometimes people don't know how to like do it correctly because what they're used to and the relationships they're used to have just been toxic. Where like, I don't know, I see it a lot on platforms where, you know, females they'll make a little snippet of like a guy saying like, where the fuck you went? Bring your ass over here. Or don't get beat up. I'll fucking, you know what I mean? And them being like like they're praising it. Me. Like them praising it or whatever the case is. And then when they finally come into, you know, when they finally come into the presence of a guy that just genuinely just is nice and just is loving without that type of, you know, abusive way, I guess, or aggressive manner, it's like they're bored. Or it's the same thing with guys. I don't know, like I remember a guy said to me, like it was the relationship was alright, it was good, nothing was going on, and he was just like, oh, like tell me, like he basically was just like, oh, tell me like look through my phone or something, or like, you know, or tell me that, you know, nobody could have you, not even my, like he was to the point he was just like, not even no other female could come around you, only I could come around you. Like he had it was like he wanted me to be crazy. But there's a lot of guys who like females to be extremely crazy, and that's how they feel, you know,
they feel like their relationship's engaged.
That, and they feel like that means that she really loves you. If she don't like look through your phone, if she don't try to like attack you or pull a knife out on you, or like, you know what I mean, like all that crazy shit, she doesn't love you. So then when they get a girl that's just like, and that's where I, like me, I got my little crazy ways, but I'm really just not that. I'm not gonna go through your phone. I'm not gonna go through your profile. I'm just, it is what it is. So when I come, it's just like I'm too calm, or I'm just not doing the most. You get what I mean?
Well, let me say this, guys. She does the most. Don't get it twisted. She does the most in a different way.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna slash your tires. So I'm not gonna mess your car up. Like
to piggyback off the toxicity and addiction, toxicity or addiction.
What's the toxicity? Well, okay. I mean, I guess addiction to the toxicity, addicted to toxic situations. So therefore, when you have a normal, healthy situation. it's like, no, it's weird.
It's slow.
It's not, this doesn't make sense, or whatever the case is, you know.
So, you know, that has happened to me.
Okay.
And
I think everybody has a level of toxicity, you know?
It happened a few times, you know what I'm saying? But did I enjoy it? Definitely didn't, because to a certain degree, it's a little immature. Like, we grown, we adults. People know right from wrong. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Common sense ain't common, but right and wrong, I mean, look. Depending on your religion, I mean, right and wrong. So like, I've dealt with women that checked my phone, didn't like it. I dealt with women that popped up at my crib, sat on a whole bench, waiting till I got in the house from a party.
Wow.
Because of an argument. I've dealt with women that said I put hands on them, didn't touch them. I dealt with women that just.
You like yourself some crazy girls.
Crazy. I mean, listen. Sometimes you don't know they crazy until you deal with them.
You're right.
And you know, they put on the mask of I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and in reality,
representative.
They take off that mask, you just like,
who are you?
Medusa.
Who are you?
Who you? What the hell am I doing here? And you know, like, the addiction to toxicity, sometimes it's a true statement. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what's going on is bad, but because you just like, you fall for the story. Yeah. You feel like you could fix them. And before you know it, you sucked in. And all you doing is feeding into something that's not that they're not ready to fix, or feeding into something that's not even beneficial to you. Yeah. Because in reality, you might be beneficial to them.
I mean, it's also that whole intense push and pull. Like, people don't realize like that intense push and pull. Yeah, it's like you're feeling something. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on in your body, or whatever the case is. A sensation that's happening, even though like you're angry, you know, you're crying, or you're mad, or you're happy, or whatever the case is. And you know, of course, there's that whole makeup to breakup shit. But you know, it's that whole intensity of that.
And you know, what's the crazy thing is, like, you ever notice when you get into an argument with the person you messing with, it's like, now y'all want to be close right now.
Yeah.
And that feeds into, I won't say it's toxicity. I will say it's like, it's the pull. It's the give and pull thing. Because you had an argument and then y'all talked about it. Mm-hmm. Now y'all back to that, I miss you.
Oh yeah.
Let me rub your butt, baby. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, now y'all back to that. And it's just like, I just wanted to dead you like the other day. Yeah. Now,
there was this one
put your lips
meme.
on this real
quick. There was this one meme, and I don't know. You know what? Us females, we are bad for this. But I seen a meme that was just like, it's been real calm recently. Let me go start an argument with him because he ain't been doing something. Because it's been real calm. Let me go start an argument with this motherfucker. And we do that. Sometimes we find arguments in anything, like, and just cause. I'm not gonna say all of us females, but I know there's a lot of us. That's a whole different topic though. But you know, I just feel
you talking about y'all just bonkers. Yo.
We are crazy. We are crazy.
Crazy is the understanding.
And we have different levels of craziness. But don't. There's some crazy dudes out there too. Like,
no, they're both. Once again, both genders are crazy. I'm not picking on one. Everybody can get it over here.
Basically.
Anybody can get it. So, very good. That's very good that you brought that up. So, here's something that piggybacks off toxicity and addiction. Ego.
Yeah.
Ego can be the downfall of a lot of relationships.
And what do you mean by, like, ego? Go into elaboration, because, you know.
So, with expressing and receiving love and affection, your ego should never be an issue when it comes to your love to your person. Do you know why? Because your ego is never going to help the situation. Your ego is going to separate y'all, right? She do something you don't like, or she might have said something disrespectful to you, and now you're just like, F that. Mm-hmm. Or he said something to you, and you like, F that. Mm-hmm. Versus, why are you mad? Basically. Talk about it. Let's get it over with. Let's see what went wrong. Versus enticing the more of the wrong. Basically. Pushing it forward. That's not what you want to do with someone you treasure. Remember, if you treasure them, that means you do for them. Now, if there's just a little side piece, then yeah, a little friction ain't gonna hurt. Because it's a side piece. You don't have that same level of respect that you have for someone that you're investing into. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But you're so what you're saying, because I don't get it. I'm be honest, I don't get it. So like, how does ego come into, with all of what you said, how does that come into play?
Expressing love and receiving love and affection.
And the ego being what stops you from doing that.
Yes, because sometimes it could have been something small, right? They could have not called you yesterday. And you and all you wanted to know is how they doing. How are you? But because they didn't call you today, now you're not gonna call them tomorrow. Why are you allowing that to affect y'all? Because that person, you don't know what happened, why they didn't call you. They could have just been tired at work. But your ego is telling you, oh, they didn't call me, I ain't calling them. That is feeble-minded.
Yeah.
Why are we doing that? Why are we allowing the little things in our brains to play tricks on us? So what? We can feel better about ourselves? In reality, you're not feeling better about yourself if you missed them. Why not call that person, text that person, hey baby, I miss you. We're allowing those things to be barriers to our love.
I agree.
Ego.
My next time, but the other reason I was gonna say, it's kind of the same thing, where it's like triggers, where it's just like, so this person didn't call me today. Now it kind of triggers how you felt about a last situation, or it triggers some type of triggers you feeling a certain kind of way.
I'm a victim of this. I let the past go in the sense of not a baggage, but like things that happened between me and that person.
Yeah.
And because they did something that's similar to that same situation, I bring it back up.
Yeah.
And that never helps the other person.
No.
Even though you're trying to be like, listen, it's repetition. We should break this. But you know what happens to the other person? Now they're in their ego like you. I thought we talked about it already. Didn't we let it go? Why are you bringing it back up? And it's not what the actual meaning behind it.
Yeah, your intention in bringing that up.
Exactly.
You get what I mean? But yeah, triggers, and just, not realizing that you have these triggers, because that's what it is sometimes. Like, you just don't even realize that, like, and it all kind of goes back to baggage. All of it. You get what I mean? Because it's kind of like
big bag.
But once again, sometimes like you just don't know, like, oh snap, this is what makes me feel this way, and this is why I reacted to this person. When in reality, this person, even just using the example of like, oh, he didn't call me today, something could happen. You get what I mean? They could be at work could be crazy. Something could happen to them. They could have a situation, something in their family could have happened.
You have no idea.
You don't. And in reality, you're only thinking of your feelings and how you're doing.
Which is what?
What?
Selfish.
Yeah. But I mean, ego selfish. It is. But he goes, even though it's selfish, sometimes once again, it goes back to like you realizing that this is something you're doing and you get taking accountability. The messed up part about it is a lot of people don't realize these triggers. They don't realize like, oh, this happened, and it made me think of when Jaquan did this to me, or when
wow.
or
he's definitely,
or Travis,
from
or
the project.
Trevor, or even for whoever.
What's his name again?
Trevor. Oh, Jaquan.
Jaquan is not from a cul-de-sac, people.
You don't know where Jaquan from.
He's not from no suburbia.
You don't know where Jaquan from.
He is from the PJs.
Don't say that. You don't know where Jaquan's
Listen.
from. Let's not say that. That's not nice.
Listen.
Jaquan could be from the suburbs. Jaquan could live somewhere nice. You don't know.
And he microwave his ramen noodles.
You don't know what he do. He probably put it in a pot. You don't know what he do. You don't know what he do. But either way.
And he put more salt in it too.
Listen, Jaquan, Marquise, Consuela. Because whoever.
Nuella? Isn't that chocolate?
Whoever.
Nuella? Isn't that chocolate?
No. Because this person made you feel this way, or you wasn't over something that happened that started from you not getting a phone call. It triggered you to now act like this towards the person that you're with, and that which falls into kind of like, I think the best way to just deal with that is before you go into something else, kind of realizing the things that you went through in the last relationship and kind of seeing what made you feel like this, and what, that's why I feel like baggage, when we said like the whole baggage part of them, not being able to receive and express love. It's just what you do with the baggage.
You see, I think that people need to just do this. Breathe and stop, for real, and give me what you got.
Okay.
You know the song, right?
All right.
Sometimes you gotta breathe and stop.
And do what?
And give me what you got. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm trying to say? So look, the reason why I'm saying this is because if what you're doing isn't pushing it forward, then stop. And it's really easy to tell if it ain't. Why you didn't come over here today? Because I was busy doing something. You want me to come? No. Because you should have came earlier. No. Breathe and stop. For real. And give me what you got. Tell them to come over. You want them to come over. Why be like that? Why let it happen? So what I mean by bring it back. And for real, give me what you got. What I mean by that statement is sometimes you gotta take what you want, right? If you know you want to talk to him, call him. Let him tell you or text you, I'm busy. Don't be egotistical and allow that to mess your day up and to mess up how you treat him the next couple days.
Yeah. Because
now he's an innocent victim if you don't know what it is. Now, obviously, if he's doing some dirt, then you know you need to go.
Where?
Out the door. Know what I mean? But what?
Go ahead.
So I'm saying, right, here's the next things I will say, right? These are the things, this is how you can always improve on your expressing of your love and affection and expressing it. You know what I'm saying? Be honest. Tell that person how you feel. Tell that person what's going on with you. Tell that person what you desire. Now, it might be vulnerability issues, yes. But it's not, you could say it in 1,000 different ways.
But that even is a good point, the vulnerability. And that's like, that was one of mine. Like, even though that was one of my like pointers that I want to say, like, if you're getting into this person where you are going to, receive and give love.
This right now.
What? That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
I got some.
But actually realizing how invested you are in this situation. You get what I mean? Because you see how you're like, well, it's going to take some vulnerability. It's going to take you talking. It's going to take you asking questions. If you're not that invested in this situation, it's kind of like, are you even going to do that? Because going through it, you are also going through all of your own stuff as well. Learning this person and
in your life.
Basically, you get what I mean?
In your life.
So just that, and if you're about it.
So, depending on the level where y'all at, you should approach it accordingly. Like, if you, I'm sorry, I'm getting hiccups. If you know,
no honey in there?
It's kind of red in this mouth. But I'm saying, like, at the end of the day, tell your person that you're dealing with, even if it's on a small level, what you expect from them. Say how you feel. Now, you could water it down. Yeah, you could water it down.
Okay.
But at least tell them. Tell them, like, I really missed talking to you yesterday. What happened? What's wrong with that? What is wrong with expressing that? And you're not going to lose points. You're probably going to gain points.
Yeah.
Because he might get his pecker hard and be like, damn.
He might get his what?
His pecker hard.
Good night.
And be like, you want me to come over here today, baby? And guess what? You getting your rocks off. And versus you having a little issue and being like, I ain't going to talk to this nigga for a week. Mm-hmm. And over what? Because he didn't call you one day? Or you just went through a little something, and he knows that you went through a little something. He might not hit you up right away. But how about you just call them? Let them know. Like, it shouldn't be a contest of who hits who up. Yeah. It shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be a record of, I called you this much times, or I checked you this much times, or I came to your house this much times.
Well, I mean, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, not more of keeping a record, but just expressing certain things. Like for example, me, I'm a person that I like to part of expressing love and receiving love. I like to get called. I like to talk on the phone with the person. I like to have intimate conversations. So I was
like phone sex.
I do like phone sex, but I don't get into it no more. But phone sex, I'm all about it. So, anyway,
baby, is it hard?
But I mean, like, shut up. Like, I mean, so I was in the situation where, like, I, was with a guy that he was not a phone person at all. And when I wasn't getting called for like a day, so what the hell's going on here? I had to express to him, like, hey, I like it when it's the same thing you said. I like it when you call me. I've called these many times, but I don't know if this is something that you like, that you're into, and or something that you like to do. Or some people are just not phone people. Some people are just not, so it's just like compromising. And that took me a while. But realizing that
she just took one of my points off my jump.
Because it's true, like, even like, and also like just in the compromise, like really learning somebody. Like, so in that same situation, right?
Let me just say this. The learning someone, honestly speaking, if you don't see yourself with them past a certain point, don't learn them.
Basically.
Enjoy the moment and, put a little oil in their booty.
I mean, enjoy the moment even when you're learning them.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
But I'm saying to you is, if you don't see yourself going down that path with them, then you don't need to do all of that. Yeah. But you can do a little, you know what I mean? There is a compromise in that too.
Basically.
Because you're enjoying each other's company. Basically. I'm just saying, compromise is a big thing for everything, damn near. Yeah. So, you can't receive love and give love. It's two people. Yeah. So you have to compromise, because they might receive love and give love a different way than I give love and receive love. You have to compromise with each other so that way y'all can meet in the middle and y'all both got a smile on your face.
Basically.
But ego, let that motherfucker go.
Let it go. Because it just don't.
It's never positive. You know what I'm saying?
And we don't know it sometimes. One of my homegirls, right? She was in a situation and she's talking to great conversation or whatever the case is. But one thing she said, she was just like, one of the things that the guy was saying to her was like, if I don't call you, you don't call me. And she was hung up on the fact that, like, every time she tried to call him, he didn't pick up. So, like, as she's saying this, right, I was like, so how many times did this happen? And she was just like, a good, like, 4 times. And I was like, how long was you guys talking? It was like, I think like 3-4 months, something like that. And I was like, so you've only called him 3 or 4 times. And you didn't, like, was this like back to back? Was this like, you know what I mean? Like, was it like for a full week? Or was this like spread out? And hold on, wait a minute. And when she said it was spread out, and then I explained to her, that's not realistic. Then you can't get mad. You can't use that as something to be upset or to hold over somebody, because it wasn't like, oh, I called you 4 or 5 days in a row and you didn't pick up. You get what I mean? These were just like 4 times. And every other time that you guys took was because he called. That's like ego. Where it's just like, I tried these times and I didn't get an answer, so I belong calling. And we don't know that we're doing it. You get what I mean? I mean, shit, I can't even say how many times I let my ego just mess up issue.
Rampage mode.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
so what let me tell you something, right? You know what I don't like? This is something that it happened to me. So I hate, because I said no once. Now you're not gonna ask again. But yet, if you said no to me a few times, I keep asking. So so now it's like an ego thing, because now you said no to me one time. So if I ask, I'm gonna wait until you just say you're gonna do it. And in my mind, I'm like, that's your ego.
You know what it's also like, and all of this kind of just, all of our points kind of just end up with everything we're talking about. Because we can say it's also ego, but it's also people's past. Where, you was vulnerable, and I'm not talking about past
Damage.
relationship.
I know.
You know, like
I know.
in growing up, you were vulnerable in this whole situation, especially like if you come from a background where your parents kind of like let you down. You know, a lot of people don't know how to deal with that, or don't even realize that they have, once again, triggers, once again, baggage, all of this stuff, where even, you know, them, that right there, like, oh, you said no to me this one time, so now, like, now rejection, and rejection sucks. Everyone deals with it differently. See, I'm like, he's like, man, I'm like, I hate it. But and depending why? And wait, and if it's from the person that you're with, like that rejection, especially if you're like sensitive to that, like I'm not gonna lie, like I'm sensitive to that. I mean, I've gotten better, I've improved.
I think you're sensitive, period.
I am sensitive, period. But there's certain things that you're sensitive to, and like vulnerability is hard for a lot of people.
It's hard for me.
Yeah, and so when you're in something, and it takes people some time to even ask someone a question or like ask them for something, and now you get a no, it's like you don't want to feel that again. So, and once again, that's like ego, but that's also like triggers and stuff that you grew up with. Let it go, people. That's really
so. Sometimes you gotta let it go.
Let it go.
It's another love. TKO. Doom, doom, doom.
Okay.
Doom, doom.
Hey.
I'm doing my Mary shit right now. You know. So here's my last point. Doing stuff out your normal. This will help your expressing love for both of y'all. And what I mean by doing stuff out of your normal, do something that she likes, that you don't like.
Yeah.
I promise you might get yourself in the back.
The other way too, ladies, do something that he likes. That you're not really about.
Listen.
You know what I mean? Like,
and you know what I mean by that?
If that's the person that you see yourself with,
and you know what
you're trying to see yourself with.
And you know what I mean by that? Is you heard her talk about something. You heard him talk about something that they were thinking about doing. Had nothing to do with you. They were just having a plain old conversation with you. You know what you do? Be like, let's go. Be like, today what we doing? Oh, let's go blah, blah, blah. He wanted to go bowling, but you don't like bowling. Baby, let's go bowling.
Yeah.
Oh, she said she wanna go to the museum. Baby, let's go to the Met. And you might be bored, but guess what? You're doing something to make them feel good. It took me a very long time as a man to realize this. Why? Because of ego. If I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it. The last show, I just said, if I want to go out, I'm gonna take you where I want to go. But see, I said that in a different meaning.
Yeah.
I said that in the sense of a woman that's all she wants to go out. So I'm gonna go where I want to go.
Or like her intention is more monetary as opposed to
exactly. Now I'm talking about someone that I'm invested into, and I might have been invested in her, but I shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is, do those little things. It don't gotta be often. It could be once every 3 months, 2-3 times, 5 times a year. But those little things show effort that you care about what they like to do.
Yeah.
And guess what?
Affection and love is different. It doesn't necessarily have to just be physical. That's, you know what I mean?
Matter of fact, it don't even gotta be going somewhere. It could have been like, I'm allergic to seafood, but she'd be like, I really want some shrimp. You know what I'll do? I put the mask on, and I make her some shrimp. Shrimp.
We're not gonna tell you to do that. Medical.
Listen, I'm talking about what I would do. Okay. I'm just giving you an example. Like, if you know, like for example, you know she's really heavy into Italian food, and you could cook. You know what you do? So like, come over. Yeah. I got, you know what I'm saying? Make the Italian meal, and figure out what she likes. Be like, what you like in Italian? And guess what? You make it for her, and you be like, you don't even like Italian food. No, but you do.
That's so crazy. Like, because while you're talking about this, I'm thinking of just how, like, from female point of view, I don't, you know, I mean, guy point of view as well. Like, it's just so hard for people to just do that. Like, as you're saying, like, you know, cook or something, and, you know, and even some of the things that I would do.
I'm talking about both genders, by the way.
Yeah. But even stuff that I would do, I can see myself like talking to a group of females and I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like, did he put a ring on it? Like, like it's just, and it's so, but for guys too. Some guys would be like, oh, I'm not doing that. Like, who is she? Like, it's just so hard for people to just be vulnerable with the person they actually care for. Like, it's just.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I am not no simp.
I don't think that makes you a simp either to
listen,
do all that stuff.
No, I never said that.
Okay.
That's not what I'm saying. I am not a simp. I don't put nobody on a pedestal.
Okay.
Nobody.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Only thing I put on a pedestal is my father. My father. I don't get along with my mother, but she's on a pedestal, all right.
Yeah.
And I put my faith. So like, those are the only thing that you put on. Like for me, that's the only thing I put on a pedestal. I don't care if it's Oprah with 2 Billy on a table.
Okay. 2 Billy.
With chocolate syrup and like, boy, all you gotta do is just lick this nipple and you got this money. And you know what I'm gonna do?
You ain't gonna lick that nipple for 2 bill? You're not gonna lick that nipple for 2 bill?
If I gotta put on a pedestal for the rest of my life,
no. What if she just asked you?
I'm licking that nipple like a motherfucker.
I'm about to say like,
damn,
what?
that might bite that motherfucker. She might have to come and get it back later.
Good night.
For 2 billion, 2 billion, you crazy, girl.
I don't know. I'm not gonna say pedestal.
You said you a simp though.
I'm a simp, but I wouldn't. The person that I bring into my life, I wouldn't put above my faith. I wouldn't put them above my family. I would just. I mean, they become a priority though. You know what I mean? They do. So I guess that's why I say I'm a, because of the fact that I'm a love bug.
Listen,
but I don't.
Listen, I care a lot. But one thing I won't do is if it's not pushing me the right way, baby, you gotta go that way. True. And that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like certain people deal with certain things, and I'm not knocking people who deal with that, but end of the day, you gotta be happy too.
That's so true.
And if you making them happy, you ain't happy, that ain't happy. It is.
Basically. I mean, and this kind of goes into our next thing that we want to talk about, because I feel like this topic it's just the biggest part, and we already been talking about it, and our next topic basically is communication and how important it is for us to understand each other, from love to family to work, and are we communicating properly? And I mean, we already talked about how like that, that has a lot to do with how you receive and you give love or whatever the case is. So my first thing that I said about that, which is we talked about earlier, about saying what you have to say. The first part is like talking and like realizing that no one is a mind reader. You get what I mean? I think people sometimes go into a situation and they only see it, which is another one of my topics, one of my points. Like they kind of only see it from their perspective. They only have the one thing that happens and kind of just assume that this person knows what they're feeling. This person knows how they saw it. This person knows like the end result of how they're feeling and knows nothing at all. You get what I mean?
Honestly speaking, she's right. A lot of the times, everybody's like when you having a debate or argument, and y'all both got good things y'all talking about. It's not about who's right and wrong in that situation.
Exactly.
So off that subject right there, what you just said, this is something that I feel learning how to talk.
For a big thing.
Learning how to talk and take your emotions out of it. Sometimes people's emotions are so invested in the argument that they're not even listening to the things you're saying. It's going right over their head because they so like, what is it, drunk off their emotions that they hear you. They're like, no, but this is nah.
They don't hear you at that point.
They don't hear you at that point. And
I hear you at that point.
And you know what that is? It's because you're so emotionally involved in the situation, and you're drunk off of it. Yeah. Like I don't know no other word to use but drunk. Yeah. And you're not thinking clearly. Sometimes you gotta take your emotions out.
When you're at your maddest, you're at your stupidest. You're at your angriest, you're at your stupidest.
You're at your ignorant. You know what I'm saying? You just
but ignorant. The thing off of that though is like it goes back to learning how to come at somebody or learning how to talk to somebody. realizing that, all right, this person is already here. They're already here. They're not hearing me. So now to only continue to try to make them hear you makes it worse. So one of my points is just realizing that in communication, there's nothing wrong with a timeout. Like, let's take a breather because we're not getting anywhere. You get what I mean? We're not. It's just this. It's just heads bumping.
I ain't gonna lie to you. The timeout is important, but I'm gonna tell you something. Sometimes when you say timeout, that person don't even want to talk after that no more.
Well, it should be, but that's also in communicating. You have to communicate. Like, all right, let's take a breather, but we need to come back to this. I mean, you might not be able to say that at the moment, but a breather has to happen because
I ain't gonna lie to you. She's right.
You know what I mean?
I ain't gonna do that.
Yeah.
And this is me being honest with y'all.
Yeah, I'm a breather. Like, I have to, if I'm gonna get to a certain point, and I know me, like, I know my anger, so I know that, like, if we're not seeing eye to eye on something, it's just like, I'm tapping out. I'm tapping out because at this point, now I'm gonna just be at my stupidest because and that's a lot of people. And I feel like that's like one of the biggest things about miscommunication. People, and you just said no one is right, but people are so focused sometimes on who's right, as opposed to, let me hear what this person is saying. Let me try to understand this person's point of view. Or, you know what? This person's pissed off right now. Let's take a breather.
See, like, what she just said is, like, for example, when people start acting like what she just said, people don't know how to listen. Learning to listen to what's being said. People don't know how to listen when they're emotionally engaged.
Yeah.
They don't know how to listen.
There is no listening.
Me, be honest with you, I'm fortunate. I could be mad, but I can still sit there and listen to what you have to say and digest it.
What'd you do? What'd you do? You what? Okay. You
digest it, and then I'll be able to, because like me, this is my issue, and it's a good thing and a bad thing. I'm a natural problem solver. So when somebody tells me something, I automatically want to solve it. Sometimes people just want to vent to me. And I'm still learning that at my age now, because I always feel like things is easy. It's just like you told me something about myself, and I told you something, and I said, I'm going to do that. It wasn't no, let me think on it. It wasn't no, I just said, I'm going to do that.
Basically.
Because you know why? It makes sense. Everybody's not like that.
No. Some people need
a moment, a time.
Like, I need a moment. You gonna say what you gotta say. I need a moment. And I might need like, and the crazy, and you know, some people can't deal with it, but I know, like, you could talk to me, and at that moment, sometimes I'm not even able to process all of my feelings about it. It's just the initial feeling. You get what I mean? Sometimes, and that's what it is. Some people don't even know how to process all their feelings. Some people don't even know all of the feelings that they're feeling that is going on. You know, so that time out is just like, all right, maybe I need to go take a chill pill and I am and anyone who knows me will tell you this. I am the biggest culprit for being tight. I'm gonna get mad and I'm gonna storm off. And it's just like, that storm off is like, I'm gonna leave before I say something ridiculous, because once you say something, and that's another thing about communication where people don't realize, like, once you say this and you don't think about it and you're at your angriest, you can't take that back.
And guess what I do?
Like, it's there. So it's just more of me. I'm just more of like, let me take a step back. Let me take a breather. Let me really think about this. And I'm not gonna lie, I might take a couple of days and then I'm able to come back like, yo, remember that thing you said? And that person might be over it. It happens a lot between us. Remember that thing you said? Da-da-da-da. It happens with my sister, it happens with everybody. Remember the thing you said? Well, this is how I felt about it, and this is how it came across, and this is how it is, or whatever the case is, or this is not it is. That's not really what I mean, like, but this is how I perceived it, and these are the reasons why. You know, approach is really big.
And I'm gonna tell you something. You have to value each other's opinion.
Yeah.
You have to. No matter if you think they dumb, retarded, crazy. You think their mama they came out the vagina and got dropped on their head.
Okay.
But guess what?
Okay.
Value their opinion. You know why? Because at the end of the day, they came up with it in their head, and that's how they felt. So if you shit on how they feel, then what kind of person you
and that's
truly
more
are?
of it. Value their feelings. Like I always say to someone when I'm talking to them, like you have a right to feel the way you feel. You get what I mean? And realizing that, you know.
Now, what you said could have not been how they interpreted it. Yeah. But that's the thing about listening. That's what I was just trying to say about listening. Now, people got to understand, everybody has feelings, everybody has emotions, and everybody has an ego. And guess what? Ego is a part of your emotions. And we talking about it again.
Yeah.
Because you know why? Motherfuckers got egos.
They do.
Got a big, big ego.
And they do, you know. I also felt like a big problem, you know, not let me say a big problem, but something that people should focus on when it comes to communication with anybody is, and it goes back to like the approach, is knowing how to talk to somebody. You know, passive aggression, the worst thing ever to have, like, especially when you're trying to like get to an agreement or get to a solution.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
You said passive aggressive is not a good way, right? I'm full out aggressive. So
I don't think aggression, like, what do you mean you full out aggressive?
I'm full out aggressive.
Like, give me an example of aggression.
I'm full out aggressive.
You mean what, like, you're loud?
No. Aggressive. The term
aggressive and direct are two, but you mean like, when I mean
both.
So, but direct and aggressive are two different things. Aggressive,
I'm not aggressive. I'm not like, violently aggressive.
Okay.
What I mean by aggressive is, if I'm gonna get something done, I'm gonna get something done.
Okay.
That means I'm aggressive towards my goal. Aggression.
That's what I'm saying. Give an example of your aggression, because it could be seen if you're like I'm really aggressive.
Okay. Here we go. If I have an issue about something, you're gonna know about it right away.
Okay. See, to me, I don't feel. Maybe a type of aggression. That's just you're very direct. You have no problem with confronting a situation. You get what I mean? When I mean passive aggressive, I don't mean like I mean, even though some people really who are passive aggressive don't confront a situation, but I feel like when you're
passive aggressive is like they will make sly remarks about the issue.
Basically,
that's what I mean by aggressive. I'm going straight at the issue. I'm going to talk about the issue. I'm not gonna, but that's why I'm aggressive.
I think that's just more direct.
No.
Just more.
No, you just proved it.
How?
Because I just said passive aggressive is when
it's like undercover aggression.
But I'm just gonna straight up say it.
Okay.
Understand?
Yeah, I just feel. But see,
because you can have aggression in anything. I could be aggressive basketball player. It doesn't mean I'm violent.
There you go.
I could be aggressive driver.
Okay.
Understand?
Don't use the other type of aggression.
Don't use violent aggression.
Don't use violence, yelling, or whatever the case is. Like that type of aggression and
you see that? You see that what we just did?
We just
communicated. We just communicated, and I explained to her what aggression is. Aggression is different forms of aggression. You know what I'm trying to say? I could be socially aggressive, which means I socially go out there to meet, talk to new people.
Okay. All right. Don't use the other type of aggression, and don't use passive aggression.
Yes.
Because passive aggression can only escalate the situation, and I feel like a lot of people do that and they don't realize they're doing it. I had a homegirl. She just didn't know how to talk to people, but she didn't realize that she didn't know how to talk to people.
Yikes.
So she would say certain things in a certain manner and not understand why. She didn't understand the reaction that she was getting. You get what I mean? Meaning like, because it wasn't as if she was doing something outwardly rude. And you know, it's just her way of dealing. And that, once again, knowing who you're talking to.
You know what's crazy? I'm glad you said that. You know that, I should not say this on camera, but I am.
Huh.
So, I was talking to this girl, right? This has nothing to do with the topic we're talking about right now.
Okay.
This is story time right now, low key.
Okay.
So, she used to be like, I got manners. I'm humble. You ready to laugh?
Yeah.
Humble. Humble means that you're well-grounded. You're not cocky. You're not arrogant. I am not humble. I want to be humble. I strive to be humble. But I know I'm not humble.
Okay.
Because all it takes is a little push in the back. And somebody saying, I ain't got it or I'm wrong. Like, I ain't wrong. I ain't broke. It like that.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to be cocky, but it's just like that's when the ego stirred. To be humble is to have no ego. I've heard a woman say, I got manners. But then a woman at the airport did something and she said, you too old to be working here. And I heard the story, I was just like, and you're humble. You just made fun of an old lady that's working at a job serving drinks. And because she had a little thing with you, you just try to shit on her life. That is not humble, dear. And I'm saying this to the people, get out your feelings. And that is my last point to this. Okay. Get out your feelings. When you're upset and you angry, what did I say? Take a deep breath.
And take a breather.
Give me all you got.
Take a breather.
Do you know why? Because sometimes it's not that deep. Like when I get into arguments with you, and I get into arguments, do I disrespect you?
No.
Do you know why I don't disrespect them? You know why I don't disrespect? Do I disrespect? Yes. You know, it takes a lot to get there. But when you get there, I mean it. And I'm not taking it back. Because I mean it. That means I'm saying to you exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Do you know why I don't do those things? Why I don't disrespect or I say something I can't take back? Because I'm thinking during the argument.
And that's a good pointer. That was one of my things. I am
thinking. And not everyone can do it.
No.
Their emotions are too stirred. I'm blessed with that. But if you know you can't think, then you know what you need to do. Let that person say what they got to say. Understand what they're saying. Don't talk over them. You say how you feel, and then you be like...
Or just take in what they're saying and say, I'll get back to you. I think that, like, some people can't deal with that, but it's just like, okay.
But that's why compromise.
Because sometimes you can't. Or you could, like, or once again, the compromise being like, all right, give me a day.
But
give
then
me 2 days or something, like, because I don't.
But who's the one compromising?
Both.
No.
Because think about it. If
you need the break, that person doesn't need the break.
Okay, so this person doesn't need a break at all, right? This person usually needs a week. So now if this person, because that happens. This person needs a week. So
compromise
this person
means we meet both in the middle.
Okay, but if you can talk immediately, and I usually need a week, the compromise would be that they have to, like, if we're compromising, am I supposed to react? Because that's not me compromising. That's not compromising with me. We would have to find a middle point.
Thank you. That's what I'm trying to say. At the end of it, you gotta understand, right? There's called leverage.
Yeah.
You know leverage, right? If I don't need no time and you need time, that means you need the leverage. Right? So that means I'm the one compromising in the situation to say, all right, how much time do you need? You need
exactly
a week? But guess what? How am I gonna get reciprocated?
I mean, of course.
How am I gonna get reciprocated? The
compromise would have to work with both of y'all. That was just an example.
I know.
You get what I mean? But it's just like, it would have to be a compromise. And sometimes it means, let me take a breather and take in what you're saying. Because it doesn't work if you don't even try to listen, or if you don't try to, even if you, like, I know me, like, I'll write questions down. And did you mean this by this? Or did you mean this by that? Like, just because sometimes you could say something to me, just even right now with the whole aggression thing, where I'm just like, aggression, and you break that down. That needs to happen in communication with people. It sounds, I know, it just sounds, sometimes people feel like that's dumb. Like, or people like, don't talk to me like I'm dumb. But in reality, sometimes we have to break it down as if we're talking to someone.
And there's nothing wrong with being dumb in a situation if you don't know. Learning should be an every moment thing. Basically. It should not be, you can't teach me nothing. You know how many times I heard people say that?
Really?
And they don't even know how to butter bread right.
Okay. All right. Bread? They don't know how to butter bread? All right.
They butter the bread. The bread is cut in half now. Because they're not gentle. You gotta be gentle.
All right. And you know what else I think, like, with the communication thing, realizing that it's more than just the words that are being spoken. It's body language, it's tone, it's facial expression.
See, now, I can't help the tone on my part. Because if you get me riled up, no. If I have to, this is me. I need to work on it. I'm telling the people I need to work on it. If I say the same thing 3 times in a row, because you're upset and you're not listening, you just made me more upset.
Okay. I'm gonna be honest. I remember I didn't realize I had a tone issue until one of my staff said something, and I'm a great supervisor, by the way. I am actually. I'm not. That's a whole nother conversation.
Wiggle.
Management skills. But anyway, I'm very direct. Like if something needs to happen, something just needs to happen. This is your expectation. This is what you need to do. But everybody is very different, and everybody takes in things differently. And this is kind of where I learned a lot of the communication. Whereas she had said to me, when you tell me stuff, when you when you give me a direction or give me an errand or whatever the case is, sometimes I feel like my life is over. I'm sorry.
Sometimes I feel like enough.
And I was like,
sometimes
what? And it was like
don't.
through text, and she was just like, I'm like, through text, how do you see it? Because we communicate in different ways.
Text messages could come off so rude.
But in reality, that's how you're seeing it, and that's a big thing. Like you're reading this, so whatever voice you're hearing is a voice that you put to it, and that's what I had to explain to her. Like, I'm texting you a direction, and she was just like, it's just. I'm like, so that's the voice you're putting to it. But and then afterwards, when I realized that this was an issue, I kind of said, even now, sometimes when I talk to someone or whatever the case, I'm like, I don't know how my tone is sounding. I'm not saying this, and this is not what I mean by it. This is what I'm saying. Because if you can't control your tone, which is a lot of people, because a lot of people have not control. If you can't, this is something
I could control my tone. I could control my tone, but when I gotta repeat something that I'm arguing about over and over, it's like the hourglass. The sand is going down, and guess what? The sand starts to run out.
I just walk away. I'm over it. Why?
She's a runner. She's a track star.
I'm over it.
Wow.
I'm not. I usually come back to it. I'm a harper, but with certain things.
What was the key word I said last episode?
What?
Heifer.
That is a female young cow. What does that have to do with me being difficult?
I just like the word. I wasn't talking about you. I just said what was the word. Did I say you a heifer?
What like?
Why are you so? See, look.
You didn't even
see that
communication.
People? You see that people?
Because when he used the word last week, he called to me a heifer, and then we. It's a female young cow. That's offensive.
Time out.
Just because I'm fat does not make me a cow.
People.
A cow is about like 2 tons. I'm not calling 2 tons.
Listen.
What's going on here?
Can I? What I said was, what was the word I used last week? I did not even say you are a heifer. Just now, I did not call her a heifer.
So what was you bringing
Time
up
out.
for?
Stop. Did you see that, people? Communication. She felt offended by the word, even though I wasn't even calling her that word.
So why did you say the word?
Because I like the word.
So you just said it, and after I just said something, you was
heifer.
Remember
you
the
want me
word
to tell you
that
the
I
word?
used?
You know the next word I like out of it? It rhymes with heifer, vagina.
Okay.
Do I want a heifer's vagina?
Let's get back on the topic, because I don't know what's going on right now. Like, I don't know what's going on right now.
The heifer's vagina.
Enough.
Move.
No. Enough.
It provides milk. 2%
okay.
Milk. What do they do? Low fat milk?
I also feel like.
Did you see that? That was a moment in time.
I also feel that it is very important. This is a big thing, and people and we brought this up in the last episode also, and it has a lot to do with communication, accountability.
Well, she said it earlier. Accountability is very important.
It's like, yeah.
Knowing when you do something wrong and taking account of it. Like,
that's it.
Knowing,
without the, what did you say before? You said without the justification afterwards?
Yes, no justification.
Like, I was wrong for saying this, but you did this,
Yes.
I did this, but my bad for doing this.
Just cut that whole out. Listen.
You did this,
Listen. It's just like You use the bathroom, right? She go in the bathroom, the seat down, and she sits on it, and it got piss on it. Ooh. Now her ass, she wet.
Good night.
You just say, my bad. I apologize. I should have left the seat up and then pissed and then put the seat down. But you know what he gonna say? Shit. Every time I come in there, it's down. Why I can't be up sometime? Now you justify
guys say that?
The seat. Yeah. My grandfather said that to my grandmother.
Good night. Good night.
And it was heard that response. And it was dried up too, like halfway dried up and wet, like.
Oh.
And he was drinking Budweiser the night before. Yikes. Nah, I'm so serious. I use it as an example. I'm just saying, like, just take accountability.
Yeah, you know, and all of this stuff.
And there's nothing wrong with saying my bad.
Yeah, seriously, just be able to say that. Just be, and you know, I'm big on like both sides, kind of seeing where they was wrong or kind of where they could have approached the situation differently. Because everybody could learn from.
Because honestly speaking, you could be right, and your whole approach could have been wrong.
Yeah, for real.
So like, you gotta just take account of what.
I'm thinking this one time, me and my sister, we was chilling or whatever the case is, and like, I don't know, she had just read something or whatever the case, and she kept saying like, you know, in an interaction with someone, they choose to see something this way. Yeah. Right? So like, we're talking about something, the topic changed, and like, I'm frustrated with this topic that I'm talking about. And she said something to me, and I felt like she sounded so condescending. And she kept going, you choose to think I'm condescending. And I was like, no, you're being, and it sends me into a whole crisis. And she was like, and I was just like, no, because right now how you said that is that you choose to see that. It was like, you're literally, and she didn't even realize like the tone she was using and the body language. Of course, I'm being a true asshole. I'm like being a whole asshole at this point. Now I'm mad. Now I'm cussing her out. I'm like, I'm officially storming out. Still storming out. And she's like, I'm just like, you don't see what you're doing?
Not the house.
You don't see what you're doing? She's like, you choose. And it sent me into a whole crisis. I like walked out the door, calling her sorts of names, whatever the case is. I think I think like a day, which is a long time for me and my sister. And then we finally talked about it. I was like, Margaret, you didn't see the tone you were saying this in? She was like, I didn't say it in any tone. I said, you was. I said, you kept doing this to her. And she was just like, because she was just like, I don't understand why you were so angry. I don't understand.
That's condescending
like,
itself.
But she didn't even mean, she was like, I don't understand why. I was just like, you just started, blowing on and whatever. And I was just like, you were saying this and you just continue.
But you also, let me say this. You might have drove into that.
I could have. You get what I mean? But, of course we came to a whole like, all right, this is what I did, this is what you did. I shouldn't have did that. Because I called and apologized for storming off. Because that could be the most. A gen attack is real. Like, and when it happens, it's something I got to work on. But when it happens, it happens. And all I can do is apologize afterwards. Because
you're a victim of your circumstances.
I'm a victim of my circumstances.
You like that, don't you? Even though it's a justification.
You see? But, just realizing that, both people could have approached a situation differently. And that happens in anything. Someone can be very non-confrontational. And now you have someone who's very confrontational. Like, just learning how to how to approach each other in all of the situations, all situations that y'all talk about. You get what I mean? Everybody's different. And don't leave things unsolved. Like, not unsolved. Unresolved. There you go. Like, don't leave things unresolved.
Listen. You should know how I am.
Uh-huh.
I'm a problem solver. But some motherfuckers don't want their problem solved. And you know what you gotta do? Accept it.
Yeah.
Sad day in this world.
Okay. All right. And I mean, to me, that's really it. There's different ways I feel like, everyone should work on their communications. Because as well as like, the other topic that we talked about, this is really all about like, just, I guess, self-growth, for for lack of better words, and just.
I mean, we supposed to be growing every day, so you
Yeah.
know. I think that I'm gonna say this. This is educate yourself.
Yeah.
Educate yourself. The world doesn't revolve the way you think it does. Culture isn't the way you think it is sometimes. So like you just have to adjust to changing conditions.
Also, the world doesn't revolve around you.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like that's the biggest thing.
Like
you know.
Like I said last week, I ain't never met a woman that said she got whack vagina.
I have. She didn't say whack, but she thought it was broken. That's kind of saying.
She told you that.
I mean,
you told me that?
Saying it's a guy. Like you don't
think she would have told me that? Her poom poom turned down? Nigga, poom poom turned down. You think a woman would tell me that? Her vagina's whack.
First of all, like what kind
of
of
vagina's trash?
So when you talk to girls, they be like, "Oh, this poom poom."
Every woman think
like,
they joint popping.
But they say that to you. Like, what kind of conversations are you having? Like,
listen,
not you, but like, how does that come up? Like, so your vagina. So you be like, "Yo, ma, how that vagina?" And
you know
like,
what I mean?
Vagina fire pop.
Do you know what I say?
What?
I say I'm whack. I say I'm alright. I'm cool.
How do you get into this conversation?
What you mean?
Like, how do you get into the...
Honestly speaking, you know I don't like talking about sex.
Yeah.
So, because I don't like talking about sex, it makes me want to talk about it more. It just evolves there. Like, sooner or later it's going to evolve there. So, for
be
me...
like, this poom poom good up.
They be like, they're good at what they do. And I just be like, alright, cool. Like, we'll see. If it ever happens, we'll see. But my thing is, I never met a woman that said she got whack vagina. Every woman they joint is like
water.
I'm talking about you thought Jesus and blessed it.
Good night.
Like I'm talking about you thought that turned water into wine.
Good night. Seriously?
Like, the way they talk about it is like you should take a bath in it. Like,
all right.
And I just be like, yo, I remember one time, she was talking, I was like, all right, let's see what this sample's about. It's like a sample cell. I went in, I was like, I don't want that shit.
Okay.
I was like, you know how you get the samples of the perfume? You know the little sample perfume?
Yeah.
You can keep that.
Yeah, you didn't debate? You just smelled it? You didn't debate, you just smelled it? And said, I don't want it.
Oh man, what time is it? Yo, and then one time, oh man, yo.
It was so crazy. You say that, and I see some girls on like, you know, the internet say stuff or whatever, or like on reality shows, but I don't ever hear like girls talking like, oh, my shit is fire, you know. I will hear a guy talking about his game before a girl do. But I don't know.
But you know why? Because women ain't trying to listen to women talk about this. They trying to listen to men.
Women talk a lot about sex though. We talk about like we get real
raunchy.
You get what I'm saying? But like I
never heard a woman say her joint whack. I heard a lot of guys.
I've never heard a guy say his joint was whack.
Hey, my joint whack.
Like
there you go.
Look.
There you go. My
today,
joint
I was this day old the first time I heard some guy say his shit was whack.
Yo, my shit's trash. I don't know why they keep coming back though.
Good night. Good night. Back on to...
I don't know. Girl, just let me sit down.
Good night.
My back hurt. My knees hurt. My neck hurt.
All right.
I'm in pain.
Back to communication.
Honestly speaking, we just all need to just we just need to keep it real with each other.
Yeah.
Get our egos.
Yeah.
Talk. Understand each other. And honestly speaking, value each other's feelings and emotions. Yeah, understand what is going on. Understand that if you get upset, take a breather and be like, yo, let's go do something.
Take a step back and try to see the other person's point of view as well.
Even if you're wrong. And I'm saying this to the men because, you know, men, it don't matter if we're right or wrong. 95% of the time. It really don't.
What?
It really don't matter if we're right or wrong. Because you're right. If we're right, if we're right, listen.
Okay.
if the man is right, if she's wrong, she's gonna act like she's right.
What? How? All right, explain this. Elaborate. Go into it.
Okay, so you trying to tell me, right? You know this.
Uh-huh.
Your friends, you never had friends that said, you was like, they're completely wrong about the situation.
Uh-huh.
And then the dude came back. You never seen that before?
Yeah.
Did I just say that, y'all?
You said she's completely wrong about the situation and the dude comes back.
Yeah.
You just said, no.
You didn't hear what I just said.
He goes, let's break it down.
I said she's completely wrong.
And he comes back to her.
Because she's in her ego. And she's like,
So he comes back and lets her think that she's right. Is what
no, he comes back and just smooths it out. Shouldn't it be the person that's wrong coming to smooth it out?
But it's not always. You're saying 95% of the time, and that's a very large.
I'm only talking about if she's wrong. I'm not saying she's wrong 95% of the time.
You just said if we're wrong or right. 90. You said 90.
Wrong or right. If she's wrong or right, don't matter. Don't matter. Some women do. Let me not say that.
Yeah.
Let me say that.
Because I'm sorry.
My fault. 75%. So.
Alright. I'll take that. I'll take that
because
over
you got women that it don't matter if they right or wrong.
Yeah.
They're not gonna be the one to call you.
Maybe 60%.
Cool. I mean, I've dealt with more of those in
60%. All right, 70,
like
70.
Listen.
70.
I can count.
70. You can't. How many times has a female? So you're counting. You're counting.
3 girls.
So only 3 girls have come to you.
3 girls. No. Came to me first about the situation. No matter if they was right or wrong.
Okay. All right. So let's keep it at
3.
70%.
3.
70.
3. And we know it's 8 to 1, so you know my numbers is high.
I'm gonna say that's
3. 1, 2, 3.
Because I know a few females that will like call the dude and say like, you know what, I was wrong for such and such and such and such. Like I'm just saying, I know a few. You get what I mean? That do that. Now I know a lot of them.
Crazy thing is that no.
But then I also know there's that group of females that were like, I don't care. Me, I did this, whatever the case is, whatever. He don't come back.
What about the choppies?
I don't know how to get down. I don't know how to get down when it comes to this because I don't know if they really invested. But that's a whole other conversation. But I just know regular females. Just talking about females in general. I know females that have no problem stepping into a situation like I'm not gonna lie. I'm one of them females. Like it might take me a minute, but I'ma still be like, I overreacted. I had a joint attack. My bad. Yada yada, and I'll apologize. But also, I know females that don't. Or have unrealistic, we talked about this, are delusional about it,
Listen.
And they don't.
Fellas, I'm going to say this to y'all again. If you cherish her and you know she's in her ego, just go diffuse it if you really care about her.
There's nothing wrong with that. Vice versa,
because you know why? I hate this saying.
What?
Happy blah, happy wah.
Aw, happy wife, happy life, happy spouse, happy house.
I didn't say that.
What was it? Happy blah?
Happy blah, happy la.
So what was the la? What's the blah and the la?
Shut up. I truly hate this, that, whatever she said, because I feel like everybody should be happy.
But that's why I say happy spouse, happy house. The spouse, both of them are spouses. So that's
Happy spouse, happy house.
Happy
and
spouse is both of them.
You telling the bitch to get off my couch.
All right.
Get out.
No.
You stink.
Good night.
I can't say the H word because you got.
Because that's not. You can't. You shouldn't use that word.
Stink. That shit is funny.
That is not a nice word.
Stink.
Yeah, that's not nice.
Hey, look, you said it. Thank you.
Because that's not nice.
Say it out loud.
No.
Say it.
And especially like if your heifer is not even like when you use that word. Use it first of all. Females use it against each other. That heifer over there, heifer. That's not nice. And
I like it because it's not a curse word.
But it's not nice.
Hoe is worse.
How is what? But then
slut.
I mean,
bitch. What? Heifer. What the fuck?
heifer is what?
Heifer.
That heifer over there, bitch. Who
You rather be called a bitch?
You know what's the crazy part? You know what? I'd be less offended.
So you'd rather be called a dog,
A
female dog female dog in the street.
I guess it's because...
And guess what other dogs do? They just randomly just go humping. They not humping a random heifer. Are you kidding me?
The heifer's getting prepped to be.
Guess what? But no, she's getting prepped
to be humped.
Yeah, but the dog get humped. Can be pregnant or not.
You know what it is? I guess in so many ways.
Wow.
No, for real. Like it's used in so many ways. People use like bitch just. That bitch over there,
too,
like
please,
it's crazy.
Understand
you know what?
This.
I'm so sorry. Like
I'm sorry about
I'm
this.
gonna have to bleep this out.
I wanted to say it just now. I'm sorry about this.
I'll have to bleep these out. But these other words, they're a little bit more, like, I guess because they're used more, or, you know,
I'm
not
sorry.
for nothing. On top of that, a lot of these words, you know, females have taken them to, like we talked about last week, it's like the N word, not the same severity, but these are some words that we've taken to kind of empower ourselves as opposed to what it's been used for. And I know it sounds crazy, like why would you want somebody to call you
heifer?
Because heifer was not, no.
You such a bad heifer. Look at you.
Imagine you walking down the street.
Hey heifer, how you doing?
You's a bad heifer. Come over here. I be so tight. I would be so tight.
Listen.
What? Hey, yo, heifer.
Baby, you told you you're such a sexy little heifer.
That's horrible. That's horrible.
Cherry on top, baby. Ooh.
Horribly.
So, I hope y'all enjoyed today's show.
Yeah, for real. Of course, drop some comments on what you think. I know we talked about a lot of stuff. Drop some comments what you think about these topics. What do you think about communication? Do you think we made some points? What do you think about C saying heifer? Drop a comment about it.
I'm gonna miss y'all.
I can't. We gonna cut it right there.